stupidest conversation we've ever had, but anyways. Okay, so since you did a thing, I'm doing a thing. So shout out Black Clover. I just watched that movie that came out like 2 years ago. I know I'm late, but like I watched all Black Clover when it was coming out, so it was a pretty good series. I would say Black Clover, if I were to like advertise it to Kamui as a potential series for him to start, even though it's very long. First of all,
I've had people tell me
it has the elf arc, which makes the entire thing retroactively worth it based on just how good that arc is. Similar to the Bount arc in Bleach, similar to season 6 of My Hero Academia. God.
All right, so
but, yeah,
I'm gonna ask you questions, and that is going to make or break whether I watch this series.
Okay.
Now, of course, I have to take your opinion into account, which is why I will ask multiple series.
Uh-huh.
Now, I already know you like Naruto better.
Without question.
Hunter versus Black Clover. Which do you like better?
Okay, so here's the thing with Black Clover is that each series is unique in its own regard. So saying holistically one above the other is a little bit harder because because I'm sure you mean in which facet or which aspect, like comparing two different aspects together rather than series, even though that isn't what you meant, but I'm gonna go with that for now. So I would say it's like comparing apples and oranges, which yes, you can do it.
Okay, let me just do more specific questions first before we do the holistic, I guess then. Which do you think is more consistent in its goodness level? So, for example, It doesn't matter if the number... I'm just going to use the hypothetical. Okay. You don't have to agree with what I'm going to say. I'm just going to make a hypothetical answer. It doesn't matter what the number is. Let's just say Hunter x Hunter. It can be a 5, 7, 10, whatever. Let's just assume every arc was the same. It was always an 8. Let's just say hypothetically Black Clover, though, it's 6, then 10, then 3, then 20, then 1, then 50, so on. Which is more consistent?
Okay. Technically, I think Hunter x Hunter is more consistent, but I don't think that's a good thing. Because what is it in like the sound waves when you have the peaks and the troughs and you like condense them because it's a higher frequency? It's almost like that, to where Black Clover, it goes from bad to good way more often, rather than Hunter x Hunter, which is more so going along like a longer wave of
arguably the most consistent. I think in terms of fan reception, even myself, it might be the most consistent series that I've watched.
Listen, you just like the stupid isekai arc, okay? And I'm not going to accept it.
I want to do a video talking about why it's better than people give it credit for. But then again, I want to do that. We're like half the arcs.
So there you go. So I would say Black Clover, I'd even say it has higher highs, and I really like the highs of Hunter x Hunter.
Okay. But specifically that arc you mentioned earlier, the elf arc or whatever, I'm guessing.
But even then, so the way I would describe these two series in comparison to one another, Hunter x Hunter might be more like complex or in-depth or better, quote unquote. But I think Black Clover is far more entertaining consistency wise. Anyways, I would say Black Clover is a series about being inspirational and motivational rather than about a series that's preaching to you what's right or wrong. And I'm not saying that Hunter x Hunter does that necessarily, but it delves more into topics, whereas Black Clover is probably the best series at having said nothing. It says nothing, but of all the series that do that, this is by far leaps and bounds the best one, to where it competes with series that do say things, if that makes sense.
Okay. Trying to think if I should just what order I want to do this, because I'm going to ask the same questions for multiple series.
Okay. It's almost
I don't know if I
like...
want to rotate each series per question, or do all questions from one series and then repeat it all over again with the next.
Black Clover, in a way, feels like a sports series. It's the sports series of Battle Shonen. In a way.
Okay, I guess I'll just do rotate series. So, same questions, but with My Hero Academia.
Okay. in comparison to which other series?
The same question, the consistency question.
In comparison to which series?
Black Clover.
Black Clover. Okay. To make
sure.
The
point is we're advertising Black Clover.
Well, yes, but because your original question was asking about Hunter x Hunter in comparison. I just want to make sure you weren't comparing My Hero to Hunter x Hunter.
No. Trust me, Oodie. I will not be comparing My Hero to Hunter x Hunter.
Okay.
I already know which series I like better.
Well, I'm definitely gonna go with Black Clover then. At all fronts.
Over My Hero. Okay.
Better.
So you further solidified why I'm not going to watch My Hero, and it amplified my potential in watching Black Clover. Okay.
All right.
Which do you think is more... So this can be in terms of inspirational happiness, laughing, tear-jerking, whatever. Which do you think is more emotion invoking? My Hero or Black Clover?
That's interesting. In terms of emotion evoking, that makes me think of like, I feel like you have to separate it between teariness and
that's okay. That's fair because I want to use Naruto as an example.
Yeah,
that it does a lot of both. It has a lot of fun. So we could separate the happy and the bad, but like Naruto is an example of something that it doesn't have to be super complex at times, but it's very good at evoking emotion if you just watch the series.
Sure. I would say My Hero is pretty good at doing hype. Well, in particular, the later seasons. I think the earlier seasons not quite as much. Besides season 3, episode 4, the muscular fight, the end of the real series. But besides that episode, I would say Black Clover is unequivocally just better in that regard of doing the hype. Like they do the thing to where they play the credits music during like the climax of every fight at the end of every arc, and it's always like it literally makes me sit up out of my bed.
I wish Naruto did that more. Like Boruto does it for like one episode. That's it.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Okay. So what about tear jerking then?
That's harder. I think. So okay. That is harder though, because I feel like neither series is really there in that regard.
Okay.
But I feel like My Hero's trying to be it more than Black Clover, in which case I guess that means My Hero's intentionally better, but overall worse in comparison to Black Clover, if that makes sense.
Okay. Which is funnier?
Well, you're not 12, so I'm gonna actually. Okay. For you, definitely for Kamui, and it's personally, in particular for Kamui. So this doesn't apply to anyone else, but for Kamui, it's definitely Black Clover. The thing with Black Clover is every character has a stigma, stereotype, whatever you want to call, like a character quirk. It like L eating his sweets or whatever, Nier eating sweets as well, Mello eating chocolate. No, what is it? Nier playing with toys. You get the idea.
Nier plays with like toys and stuff.
So every character has their own unique quirk in Black Clover, except they just amplify that up to 11, and that just basically is their main character, and then they have a deeper character below the surface. But like their main thing, which they always come back to, is first and foremost, their character quirk. 100%.
That's kind of funny.
But then it makes you really root for the characters.
My Hero is actually funnier.
Well, this is why I started with, well, you're not 12. I would say Black Clover is more annoying in its funniness, but more enjoyable in its funniness.
Okay. So, you and I are both SpongeBob fans. If you're a fan of SpongeBob, which do you think is funnier?
Okay.
But the thing is, SpongeBob does it right, whether it's kid humor or not.
Yes. So, okay. Let's make a distinction. Are we talking about SpongeBob holistically or SpongeBob before season 4 or ish or so?
I mean, there is a point where I just haven't seen, like, I don't know off the top of my head a lot of the newer stuff, but I think I did watch up to like season 8, even maybe. I could be wrong. Could have stopped at 6 or something. But for a while after season 4, I thought it was just fine. Personally, I don't know about like season 23 or whatever they're at now, but
yeah, I think it is. Like
I do want to watch it though, just to find out.
Yeah. I have mostly kept up to date with kind of the latest SpongeBob-ish. I would say it's like, I'm not gonna say it dropped off in quality, but it's definitely become more kiddish, more a little bit annoying, especially with like some of the other things they do, like freaking Narwhal or whatever, those episodes, a little bit annoying. Some of the episodes feel like classic episodes, but I feel like they're intentionally doing that. A lot of them just don't have, it's definitely way less consistent at the very least, and there's a lot less appreciation there for the episodes in comparison to those earlier seasons, so where every single one's just banger after banger, timeless classic. Unlike new SpongeBob, that's for sure. So okay, keep that in mind. All
right, well, okay, just keep in mind, good SpongeBob, the best SpongeBob you can think of. Which series is closer to that?
I think timeless SpongeBob is more iconic and timeless, ironically, in its humor. It'll stand the test of times, unlike Black Clover. But that doesn't mean when you're in the moment, Black Clover isn't just as funny, if not funnier. It's just afterwards, it's not gonna really keep as much impact.
Okay. So now let's go back to the earlier questions.
Okay.
Consistency and the emotional ones. But Attack on Titan is the comparison with Black Clover.
I would say Attack on Titan is very similar to Hunter x Hunter to me, to where it stays consistent and not consistent for like long-ish periods of times, mostly divided up into like different arcs. Like, you know, I hate the Isekai arc, I hate the politics arc. That is a comparison, but then like
wait, you talking about the Attack on Titan politics arc or the
Attack on Titan politics arc?
Okay, I was gonna say I actually like the election arc in Hunter x Hunter a lot, but
I mean, I would definitely have it on the lower end, but like it's serviceable.
I just like Hunter x Hunter more than you.
It was enjoyable. I'm not gonna say it was good. It's just fun to watch the characters, I guess, and like, where's this gonna go or whatever. But it's not like you're on the edge of your seat. You just enjoyed seeing the troll dude troll. Let's be honest, Kamui.
Yes, I love the troll dude trolling, and I love Illumi, and I love Killua.
Okay, I'm not even gonna count that as
more of my favorite characters.
No, because I'm not even counting that as the election arc.
But that is the ace. That's the actual story of the arc. The election is the B story for fun part.
Yes, but that's like having the pain arc in the fated battle between brothers arc, or like however which way that works out. Like realistically, you're gonna separate the two.
It's called the chairman election arc. I just assumed that. For all I know, it's called the Nautica arc.
Yeah, exactly. There's a very clear divide there. So.
They happen at the same time.
Yep. Just like the pain arc and fated battle between brother arc. I agree.
All right. Well, if you're gonna play that game,
that game,
then what do you think of the Illuminati Killua arc?
Okay, I would
separate
say
from the election.
I would say generally that is better, but less enjoyable than Black Clover.
Okay. Now, specifically the election, better versus enjoyability.
Well, yeah, I think the answer is clear there, but let me shift the answer